Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of the Casey et al. 2011 study. So now we're going to be looking at the findings from the experiment and then the conclusions. So key findings from experiment 1. In terms of reaction times, there were no effects of delay group on reaction time measures to correct Go trials. In terms of accuracy, the participants performed with a high level of accuracy for correctly responding to Go trials during both the cool, where 99.8% of answers were correct, and the hot tasks where 99.5% were correct. Low and high delayers performed with comparable accuracy on the Go trials. These are the ones where they had to click the button. Accuracy for no-go trials was more variable, with low delayers committing more false alarms than high delayers. So this is as expected. Low delayers have a problem with controlling their impulses, so when they weren't meant to press the button, they accidentally pressed it. So low and high delayers performed comparably on the cool task, but the low delayers trended towards performing more poorly on the hot task than high delayers. This is because in the hot task, more alluring cues like happy faces were used, so it makes the lower delayers harder to resist that temptation to hit the clicker, hit the button, and make a mistake. Only the low delayer group showed a significant decrement in performance for the hot trials relative to the cool trials. Overall, therefore, the go/no-go task produced differences between the delay groups only in the presence of emotional hot cues, i.e. individuals who as a group had more difficulty delaying gratification at 4 years of age. Low delayers showed more difficulty as adults in suppressing responses to happy faces than the high delayers. So what this bullet point is saying is that the lower delayers had more trouble withholding their response in hot tasks, in tasks where hot cues were used, such as the happy faces, because they were unable to withhold that response to not hit the button. And just a key point quickly, it also shows how at 4 years of age, low delayers at 40 years of age, low delayers still had a problem withholding their responses. So it's something that in most cases hasn't really changed over time. They're still having problems with holding responses as they did when they were 4 years of age in the, I think what was the marshmallow test. So key findings from experiment 2. In terms of reaction times, this was inside the scanner. The two delay groups did not differ significantly in terms of reaction times in correct Go trials, with P being less than 0.4. In terms of their accuracy, also inside the scanner, the overall accuracy rates for the hot go/no-go task were uniformly high for Go trials, with a mean rate of 98.2% correct hits, with more variable performance to no-go trials, which had a 12.4% false alarm rate. Differences between the two delay groups in no-go accuracy were consistent with the observed differences in the hot task performance in experiment 1, with low delayers committing more false alarm rates than high delayers. For the imaging results, which is basically the key part of what they were trying to find in this second experiment, the no-go versus go trials identified candidate regions of the brain differentially engaged as a function of cognitive control tasks. So what they identified here is that the inferior frontal gyrus and the ventral striatum were key players in controlling impulses and causing impulses. So the right inferior frontal gyrus was involved in accurately withholding a response, as mentioned earlier, and the ventral striatum was involved in generating the response or making the impulse more likely to be carried out, kind of thing. Compared with high delayers, low delayers had diminished recruitment of the inferior frontal gyrus. So this is saying that they had lower activity in this region of the brain, meaning that the brain wasn't controlling their impulses as much as it should be. The ventral striatum demonstrated significant differences in recruitment between high and low delayers. This reward-related region of the brain showed a three-way interaction of group times trial times emotion, with elevated activity to happy no-go trials for low delayers relative to high delayers. These results showed that the prefrontal cortex differentiated between no-go and go trials to a greater extent in high delayers. The ventral striatum showed exaggerated recruitment in low delayers. So this just basically means more activity. So conclusions, we're finally almost done. Sensitivity to environmental hot cues plays a significant role in an individual's ability to suppress action towards alluring cues. Resistance to temptation, as measured originally by a delay of gratification task, is a relatively stable individual difference that predicts reliable biases in frontostriatal circuitries that integrate motivational and control processes. This is the biggest part. This next bullet point is basically the one that you have to remember the most. So the capacity to resist temptation varies by context. The more tempting the choice for an individual, the more predictive are the individual differences in people's ability to regulate their behaviour. So what this is just saying is that what might be alluring to someone isn't exactly alluring to someone else. So it does vary. Behavioural correlates of delay ability are a function not only of cognitive control, but also of the compelling nature of the stimuli that must be suppressed. The next point is also a massive one that you need to remember. So individuals who at the age of 4 years old have difficulty delaying gratification and who continue to show reduced self-control abilities have more difficulty as adults suppressing responses to positive cues than those who don't. So this is a key point because basically it is what the study was all about, showing that low delayers at age 4 also were low delayers at age 40. Here is a list of questions that you should probably try. Go back, have a look through the slides again. I would probably put them in the description so you can use them, but answer these questions and see if you get the right answers. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I know it's been a very long one, it's been a bit boring, but it's worth watching just so you know all the information. Thank you and see you soon.